Productions. Mike the Fit Prince again with another one. Another one. Make sure you like the video, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on so that you're notified when I'm dropping new content. And share this video with your friends if you like it, if you enjoy my content so far. Man, it's pretty good doing this stuff. See, this is one of my hobbies, man. I like doing stuff like this. You see what I'm saying? I like And that's why I know I mentioned in my last video, I was like, sometimes I just be questioning whether or not I want to come on here. But it's just like, man, I don't know. I'm just like kind of anybody else who might want to get on the camera and speak their mind, thinking it'll at least change one person's life, at least maybe be a blessing to somebody. I ain't looking to change the world. I'm just kind of just doing what I think is beneficial for community, beneficial even for myself, maybe for my future family, and moving forward on that. But today's video is going to be on semen retention and rethinking it. Let's rethink. Let's rethink. Let's kind of go back and see if there might be any holes in what I might have said concerning it or other people. So the whole thing about semen retention, I know and do believe that it is good. I understand that there are benefits to it. You know what I mean? I think it's very, very helpful and and it allows you to not go forward and think about certain things that you probably shouldn't think about. You know what I mean? It gives you a level of self-control. It teaches you self-control. It teaches you continence and temperance and things of that nature. And it probably will prevent you from, going to the P word. You know what I mean? Now, but we must rethink, right? Because there's talk about masturbation. I'm seeing a lot of, videos now when I've looked it up, a lot of masturbation videos and stuff. And oh, is it a sin or is it wrong? And then things of that nature. And I've done research on my own, to a degree, I think, to pretty much get a general understanding. And I've researched it already myself. But when it comes to just mainly focusing on semen retention, right? So, because semen retention is now, I think it's a bit extreme. I think we can get a bit extreme with it because it's not just it's not in the just in the category of masturbation. It doesn't just apply to people who beat their meat or what have you. It also applies when you're talking about retaining your seed concerning women and things of that nature. Now, I'm no advocate for men just going out having sex with a whole bunch of women or anything like that. I'm no advocate for that, but I am an advocate, for having sex within marriage. You see what I'm saying? I do believe in that. And I think, and there's a few pages I've seen on YouTube where guys, don't have sex with their wives and stuff like that. They've consented to not have sex and stuff like that. It's a bit extreme. It can get very extreme when you don't define semen retention and you don't really specify what we're talking about because it's so general. You know what I mean? It can mean masturbation. It can mean, shoot, you have a woman, doing her thing on you, or you engaging in sexual relations. You know what I mean? You going inside. So and listen, this topic isn't really for children. So if I get a little bit explicit, please just protect your children's ears at your own discretion. If unless they're old enough to kind of, understand. But anyway, like when we're talking about semen retention, it can get very extreme. It can get very bad to the point where you're kind of cutting yourself off. Now, I've mentioned this already in my previous videos on it, in my series on semen retention and my journey on it, and what I've seen and how I experience my experiences. And I even said in those videos, I didn't agree with a lot of the semen retention rhetoric that was being spewed. I even mentioned a lot of misconceptions that are out there concerning the benefits, concerning what you will see, what you won't see. Now, these things, people are different, I guess, and people are going to experience different things on their journey of semen retention or no fap, as what they would say as well, concerning masturbation. Now, but a lot of times you do, like I said, you do have guys out there that are taking it even in their marriages, and it's just like, okay, you know what I mean? I have to give a little pushback because it's just like, well, I'm a believer. I'm a Christian man, and I believe I'm about to say an Old Testament Christian, a New Testament under the New Testament, under the New Covenant believer. You know what I'm saying? Not disregarding the old laws or anything like that, or disregarding their importance. You know what I mean? It's not, but I'm not under the law. We're under grace, and we're under Christ's law, ultimately, which is above, you know, anything. You see what I'm saying? So, getting going, and that's a whole other conversation. But when it comes to semen retention and stuff like that, the Bible says, of course, Paul with his advice and really his commandment, not even commandment, but he a lot of times the Apostle Paul just kind of gets misrepresented. A lot of stuff he says gets twisted and things of that nature. Those who are unstable and deceitful, they wrestle with these things, and it's just like, well, they do it to their own destruction. Unlearned people as well. And it's just, he says that you should not deny your sexual relations with one another. You know what I mean? You only consent to not do it. You only consent to not have sex. You know what I'm saying? Wait, hold on. Is that the way it's supposed to put it? Let me think. You consent. Yes, I have it right. Yeah. So you consent not to have sex, but you come together again. That's there's a point in time where you're supposed to come back. See, guys on semen retention, I can understand, like, okay, abstaining, all right, cool. You know what I mean? We got to probably get a little project done. Might need to focus here, focus there, focus on this family, focus on these children, focus on doing this, that, and the other. We may have to just kind of agree to just be like, you know what? All right, cool. We ain't gonna do this for a certain amount of time, and we'll come back together and get it popping again. You know what I mean? But a lot of times guys try to go as long as they can, and they don't have a cap. They don't have a cap. And it's just like, you're taking it too far. You see what I'm saying? Now, and what I mentioned as far as like going into the benefits now, because see, there's a lot of people that are out there that are saying, and I have not experienced all the benefits that people say out there because, cognitive function, strength, and all this energy and stuff like that. Listen, fam, I have experienced the complete opposite. I'm not gonna go hold you, bro. You see what I'm saying? When it comes to semen retention, man, I have experienced a lot of things contrary to what that they teach out there. So again, it may be good for them when they experience it. They may experience better cognitive function. They may experience energy levels that are heightened. They may experience X, Y, and Z. But again, I have to attest to myself that ain't really something I looked at. You know what I mean? That ain't something I seen. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, I will even go as far to say like my cognitive function probably might have declined. I ain't gonna hold you because again, you kind of hear me pausing in between my words and stuff, trying to gather information. A lot of times people will even say memory loss. I mean, well, yeah, I guess releasing your seed and all this stuff may affect your memory and stuff. Your memory, like, dude, I have problems with my memory right now. You know what I mean? I'm 24 years old and I still have problems with I have problems with my memory right now. And I have not I have not masturbated, I have not had sex, I haven't done none of that. You see what I'm saying? Now, I mean, of course I've had, I guess some form of sexual relations. I will have to say, I'll have to admit recently, not recent, like really recent, just past months and stuff like that. But um, you know, but that again, as a matter of fact, when that happened though, I'm just like the first time it happened, when I released, I guess what people call relapse. When I released, I just said, okay, the next day, I felt great. I ain't gonna hold you. I felt good. I didn't feel a drain of energy. My energy was not drained. I felt fine. I felt good. I felt like I wanted to produce and be productive and do these different things. I felt good. You know what I mean? And I didn't, and the next few times that I, did release, and it was just like, okay, well, there's nothing really I can say that's harmful as far as releasing my seed. I can't really say that there's anything that I've experienced that was negative as far as doing that. So, but again, I understand that it can, I understand that it can get a bit addictive. It can take you off of your game. It can take you off your purpose. It may lead to you objectifying women or objectifying, them, like, I guess, solely, and not really, desiring more so to have sex, more so than desiring to have it within the confines of marriage, things of that nature. You know, but again, it could also be again, like, hey, when I did do the research on masturbation and stuff like that, well, I see that it can actually be what's it called, a preventative measure from you not going out there and taking another man's wife, or going out there just leading some woman into just having sex with you and that's it. You see what I'm saying? Just to fulfill a certain desire that you have. You know what I mean? I think it could be there for that as well. So I'm kind of going going in between this, and you know, just trying to see if this is really true, because again, the Christian community will swear up and down that it's wrong and things of that nature, and they'll try to use porn and things that like, sorry, they'll try to use corn or orn. I already said the word, but it is what it is, guys. Please have patience with me. Trying to I'm talking about YouTube. Please have patience, because I'm just trying to get my words together here so I don't lose channels or what have you. But anyway, the P word. I but we have to understand where that comes from. Ornos, or what I'm saying, without using the P, in the Greek, means fornication. You know what I mean? It's another word for adultery or harlotry, whoredom, whoremongering, and uh, fornication. You see what I'm saying? So those people who are in that industry are fornicating because they're doing sexual acts for the gain, for the sake of gain, presenting their bodies, having sex online, selling it a lot of times for viewers, for looks, and everybody's looking at it and promoting that type of stuff. You see what I'm saying? Now, there's nothing wrong with sex in and of itself, but putting it out there for everybody to see and everybody to just kind of whack off to that stuff, and it's literally like, come on, you know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, there's a lot of people out there, especially in the manosphere, that'll make it seem as if masturbating alone is bad, and I'm just like, well, I'm kind of rethinking that. Rethinking that, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I haven't masturbated, you know what I mean? Again, I had a, girlfriend or what have you, and, we did some things. And so, again, that was that. But, I mean, again, like, I can't just tell somebody that, hey, I'm not just going to tell somebody that it's wrong or it's a sin, because there's no sin in the Bible. There's nothing in the Bible that says that you can't do that. All it says is, if if your seed goes out of you, then wash yourself with water, But of course, that doesn't necessarily mean you're unclean now under the new covenant, right? Those were just diverse washings and things of that nature. Um, outside of the blood of Christ that makes you pure and things of that nature. I keep saying things of that nature. Goodness gracious. I probably, God, I'm working on my speech, guys. I'm working on my speech. But I, I will have to say though, yeah, because if you're gonna say that, then well, you have to also say that well, it's a sin for a woman to have her menstrual cycle. So she's unclean. Is that a sin? No, it's not. So you having like a wet dream or seed coming out of you, you having sex with your wife is nothing wrong with that. Even Hebrews 13 will tell you that marriage is honorable and long and the bed is undefiled. So whatever you're doing in the bedroom, hey, it's what it is. Pretty much anything goes. But we need to rethink semen retention. Stop listening to these guys out there just selling you something and telling you, hey, this is what it is. This is what you're gonna get. This is what you should experience. They're giving you their experiences, or matter of fact, maybe they're probably giving other people's experiences and just trying to tie it in and make it sound good so that they can have some level of control over your life. You know what I mean? Like, listen, and one thing I'm going to leave you guys off with is that your sexual arousal, your sexual urges, all these different things, these things are not harmful in and of themselves because that's exactly how each and every last one of us got here. You see what I'm saying? With the creation of Adam and Eve, if God didn't make Eve appealing to Adam or Adam appealing to Eve, then I mean, if there would be no desire to have children, there would be no desire to even consummate and be one flesh. Like First Corinthians 6 tells you that he that is joined to a harlot is one flesh and one body with her. For the two said he shall be one flesh. So that's the physical um, consummation of a one flesh union. You know what I mean? If you have sex, that's one flesh. That's what it is. So, you have to be very careful um, when listening to people that are saying that, you know, your sexual nature, and especially as a man, your sexual nature and your arousal for women or women's arousal for men is wrong and evil and bad, and you should only feel that way in marriage. Like, no, no, that's not biblical. You know what I mean? It's not. And we can go into what lust is, we can go into what all that is, but again, you have to know and understand it. Can you even like help it? Can you even help that you're attracted to women? Can you even help that you're attracted to men? You see what I'm saying? So, and again, like, if you're gonna masturbate, if you're gonna do X, Y, and Z, like in the privacy of your own quarters, well, hey, is it glorifying God, or are you doing it in a way? I'm not trying to say, I'm not trying to ask that question as if as a rhetorical. No, I'm saying, does can you glorify God? You know what I mean, in a good way doing it. You know what I mean? Because you can, I would say, I would think so. You know what I mean? So this is just stuff I'm just looking into, man. You may think I'm wrong. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions, but hey, listen, there's nothing in the Bible that condemns it, and so I'm not gonna condemn anybody for it either. So, you know, hey, it is what it is. Don't don't restrain yourself, and be just okay with your sexual nature. Be okay with that. You see what I'm saying? Be okay with how you are, how God made you. Be okay with that. Don't listen to the church fathers trying to say it's wrong and evil. It's a venial fault because God made you that way. I'm convinced that God made you that way because there's no way I'm looking at a woman and my rock don't get crazy. I'm not on rocket. You know what I mean? So hey, don't cut yourself off, but hey, do things the right way. All I gotta say, do it the right way, and glorify God. All I gotta say, man. Do your research as well, and have some common sense. Think. I'm just putting this information out there to get you to think. You know what I mean? So hey, have a good one, y'all. This is Kingdom Fit Productions. Mike the Fit Prince is your host for today's video. I want you to make sure you like the video, comment, subscribe, and get those notifications. Share it if it's insightful, and just don't just listen to me. Listen to other people and do your own research. Come to your own conclusions. Come to your own convictions. If, what does Romans 14 say? Blessed is the man that is not condemned in the thing that he allows, that doesn't condemn himself in the thing that he's allowing. You know what I mean? Because if you do something without outside of faith of doing it, then okay, well, it's sin anyway. So take care, guys. Have a good one.